If you want to stay on top of your health in preventative-like way, especially heart health, brain health, general metabolic health, there are a few tests you should know about. And Lp(a) is a particle which carries oxidized cholesterol inside of you. And usually when somebody healthy dies in their 50s, that's a first suspect. And probably one of the reasons why heart disease is the #1 killer. It is genetic, so you need to do this test hopefully only once in your lifetime, but I think everyone should do it at least once. It's not an expensive test, and you need to know your genetic predisposition. It can literally save your life. #2 is from the same realm, is ApoB, and that's something you can do every time you do a lipid test. It only costs like $5, but it tells you the exact number of the particles, proteins, which carry cholesterol around. It's almost like on the road, you can see how many vehicles you have. And the more of the vehicles you have, the higher the chances of an accident and spillage, which can go rancid, and that's heart disease. And actually, alongside of those, it's probably useful to keep an eye on hCRP, inflammation marker, which you can think about as a quality of the road, and blood pressure, which is like a wind or weather condition, and keep those in check as well. Next is homocysteine, which also plays into heart disease, into brain health, and everything else actually, because homocysteine is an indirect marker of methylation. And methylation is controlling everything in your body. It's how DNA is activated, it's how you can make and process emotions, it's how detox is going on, digestion, and pretty much every process. So high homocysteine also related to heart disease. High homocysteine and bad methylation also leads to dementia, because you need to create phospholipids and you need methylation for that. And next, omega-3 is actually what I used to create phospholipids for your brain, and the best, and actually omegas go into every membrane, every cell membrane in your body. There is a good test called omega index, which can tell you your percentage, like ideal one should be around 10%. And if it's below that, you need to eat more fatty fish, ideally small fatty fish, to have a low heavy metal load. And if you cannot, then you can consider supplementing to hit that 8 to 10% index. Next is A1C. And A1C tells you what is your blood sugar doing long term. It's like an integral function telling you how much sugar you had in your system for 3 months. And blood sugar is interesting because you don't want it to be too low, but you also don't want it to be too high, because it just can physically damage you from inside and cause that inflammation. So in case of A1C, it gives you some understanding into your metabolic health, because if you are metabolically healthy, if you are eating healthy, you should be processing that sugar out of your system easily, and that's what next tests will tell you also about. Because if you have that A1C elevated, it can be that your insulin is not working properly, or maybe you are stressed, or maybe you don't have enough muscles to absorb that sugar from the system. And HOMA-IR, it's like insulin ratio, sort of dives deeper into that. It looks into fasting insulin and ratios it to your blood glucose. If it's elevated, you can dig deeper and do what's called oral glucose tolerance test with insulin, which is kind of annoying, and ideally you don't want to be there. And DEXA scan is actually full body scan with a very low dose of radiation, like a flight from Boston to Los Angeles. And initially, and most importantly, it tells you about your bone density, but then you can do it with extra information, and it will tell you how much fat you have, and especially visceral fat, fat which surrounds your organs, and it is toxic. Like normal fat, subcutaneous fat is actually good for you, but visceral fat is bad. And you can look at the picture, and like when you see it, if you are driven by the numbers or images, when you see visceral fat surrounding your, liver, you're like, oh shit, I should do something about it, and it can be very motivational. And also, this DEXA scan can tell you ALMI, appendicular lean mass index, basically how much muscle you have. And well, muscle is good, and the more you have it now, the better you're going to be later. It's like a muscle bank. We tend to lose muscle a little bit as we get older, so it's kind of useful to do this DEXA scan once in a few years to understand where you are, how it's going. And if you want to dive deeper into omegas, brain health, methylation, and everything else longevity related, but explained like I'm 5, well, stop by, stay engaged, and I'll see you in the next video.